Hi, there are only four chords and one chord progression or sequence for the song. If you had seen Ed Sheeran's YouTube Shorts version of the song, he showed four chords, and these are A minor, F, C, and G. And this set of chords are the ones that he also used during his live performance at MTV VMAs 2021. But his YouTube Shorts version and his live performance at the MTV are at a whole step lower than the recorded pitch or key. This content or tutorial is based on the official version of the song, and the chords are B minor, G, D, and A. Let's learn or review the chords first. But if you are already familiar to the chords, you can skip this section and click the scroll bar for the next segment. The first chord to be played is B minor. And looking at the chord diagram, you would have your index finger across all four strings at 2nd fret and your ring finger on the 4th string at 4th fret here. And this is B minor. It is then followed by G major, and again looking at the chord diagram, your index on the 3rd string at 2nd fret, your middle finger on the 1st string at 2nd fret, and your ring finger on the 2nd string at 3rd fret. This is G major. It is then followed by D major chord, and again looking at the chord diagram, your index finger on the 4th string at 2nd fret, middle finger on the 3rd string at 2nd fret, ring finger on the 2nd string at 2nd fret. So you have all three fingers at 2nd fret and the first strings left open. This is D major. And then it is followed by A major chord. And again, looking at the chord diagram, your index finger on the 3rd string at 1st fret, middle finger on the 4th string at 2nd fret, and the other two strings, the 2nd and the 1st strings, are left open. This is A major. And the sequence of chords that you are going to use for this song is this. You begin with B minor, and then it is followed by G, and then D major chord, and then A. So that sequence, B minor, G, D, A. And you repeat that throughout the entirety of the song. So that's the chord progression of the song. Listening to the record, you can hear that there are several rhythmic patterns applied in this song. And there are sections where muting is applied. To keep this tutorial simple, I will just introduce to you one major strumming pattern that we will be using for the entire song, with a couple of variations on how A major chord is played. Although this song can be played with basic 8-note rhythm, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the strumming pattern that I will introduce to you is appropriate for the rhythm of the song. By the way, if you would like to learn more about basic rhythmic patterns like whole note rhythm, half note, quarter note, and 8-note rhythm, click this link for that lesson. Now here is the strumming pattern. As you can see, the pattern is a sequence of 5 strokes. The first 3 are all downstrokes, followed by an upstroke, and the last one is a downstroke, and that happens within one measure. And for this pattern, you have to do 8-note counting. So you have to practice 8-note counting. You have to practice counting steady and even, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. Before I illustrate the pattern, let's discuss the pattern first in detail. The first stroke is right at count 1. And then the second stroke is a downstroke right at count 2. And then the third stroke is a downstroke between counts 2 and 3. The fourth stroke is an upstroke between counts 3 and 4. and the last stroke is right at count 4, which is a downstroke. The rhythm of the pattern is actually a combination of quarter note, 8th note, quarter note, 8th note, and quarter note. But in terms of strokes, it's a combination of down, 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 up, down. Now to learn the pattern, I will do a demonstration of it at a slow tempo, and I'll count at a steady and even tempo, and this would be the slow tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so with the pattern it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 I just did a pattern for 4 measures. So for you to be able to do that, you have to practice 8th note counting first at a slow tempo, counting for several rounds or measures. And then when you get comfortable at counting at a steady and even tempo, then apply the corresponding strokes as you count. So with chords, it would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the next chord is G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then goes to D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then finally to A. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You would notice that for each chord I played the pattern for 2 rounds. Well, it's because the pattern is good for 1 measure and the playing time of each chord for the whole song is 2 measures each. So you play B minor for 2 measures, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then you play G for 2 measures, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then D for 2 measures, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then A for 2 measures, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so that's how you play the song. But there are instances where A major chord is played a bit different. Instead of playing A for 2 measures with the same pattern, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, there are instances within the song where A major is played with that pattern for the first measure, and then the second pattern is actually a quarter note strum. And a quarter note strum is a downstroke right at count 1, downstroke at count 2, downstroke at count 3, and downstroke at count 4. So for those instances, you'll have to play A major chord with the pattern that I'm suggesting for the first measure, but on the second measure, it would be quarter note strum. So to illustrate, it sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's the variation for playing a major chord. And there's another variation which happens at the end of the song for the same chord again, and A is the last chord that is going to be played on the song. For 2 measures, it's still the pattern that I'm suggesting. For the second measure, it's still a quarter note, but there are no more strokes right at count 4. Instead, it's a break right at count 4. So instead of doing quarter note for the whole second measure, it would be, for that last time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you stop the strings from ringing right at count 4. Now to illustrate that last variation of playing a major chord, it sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now that's how you end the song.
Kissed a mouth that tastes like yours, strawberries and then something more. Oh yeah, I want it all. Lipstick on my guitar. Fill up the engine, we can drive real far. Go dancing underneath the stars. Oh yeah, I want it all. You got me feeling like I wanna be that guy. I wanna kiss your eyes. I wanna drink that smile. I wanna feel like my soul's on fire. I wanna stay up all day and all night. Yeah, you got me singing like, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. And we'll say, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back into the car. On the backseat in the moonlit dark. Wrap me up between your legs and arms. Oh, I could get enough. You know you could tear me apart. Put it back together and take my heart. I never thought that I could love this hard. Oh, I could get enough. You got me feeling like I wanna be that guy. I wanna kiss your eyes. I wanna drink that smile. I wanna feel like like my soul's on fire. I wanna stay up all day and all night. Yeah, you got me singing like, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. And you say, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. Baby, you burn so hot, you make me shiver with the fire. You got this thing started, I don't want it to stop. You know you make me shiver. Baby, you burn so hot, you make me shiver with the fire. You got this thing started, I don't want it to stop. You know you make me shiver. Yeah, you got me singing like, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. And we'll say, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. When you close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. Yeah.
Subscribe to be notified automatically for new uploads. Thank you for watching.